Right, what is going on IG Live? Make sure my vocals are on. What's going on Facebook? My name is Darren Walker. This is BEICONIC Conversations. Let me just make sure that we're live on all the places we need to be live on. We are. Make sure you can hear me. Oh, I don't know if you can hear me here. Hold on. Can you hear me on Facebook? What's going on, Gregory? What's going on, y'all? Oh, that's why. It's because it's out there. Yeah. Right, perfect. All right, so what's going on, family? BEICONIC Conversations. Instagram, we see you. You're on and popping. Facebook, we'll give you a second to catch up here, but I know you'll be here soon. My name is Darren Walker. I'm so humbled, grateful, and blessed. Yes, I got the beard going. So many iconic things going on. Hey, y'all. This is BEICONIC Conversations. Listen, stay on tonight. We've got 3 special guests that are going to be on here in a little bit. But first, I just kind of want to welcome you here. I'm live right now on Instagram. I'm live on my Facebook and on YouTube. We'll be doing this BEICONIC Conversations every single Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And want to just kind of bring this to you here. First of all, happy holidays if you celebrate. I know Thanksgiving just passed if you're in the States. And we're getting ready to go into this new holiday season with Christmas coming up. You know how I know that? Because Mariah Carey right now is popping off the I don't want to. Y'all know what it is. And she's doing her thing, but it's time to do ours. Here, the reason why we're doing BEICONIC Conversations is because we believe that people have a story. We believe people have value. And we want to help people share that value in the MPM, the marketplace ministry, have success at a high level. So I know, grabbing attention in the social media space is really highly competitive. There's people selling things everywhere and all there. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm bringing on 3 special guests here that have completely iconic stories. They have podcasts, masterclass, and a bunch of different things. I also myself am promoting a New Year's masterclass. If you're on here right now and you're looking for in 2024 to start your new year seriously on a next level, I'm literally taking my last 15 to almost 20 years now of entrepreneur, network marketing skills, faith-based experience, and teaching people how to take their life right now to the next level. So I want to pull up my slides and get really kind of right into this. I feel like the last couple ones out of excitement and different things, I haven't gotten as quick into what I wanted to do with y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and get this going so you guys can see what it is that we're so excited about and see how it is that we're going to make this happen on a high level. All right. So do me a favor. If you're watching live, put an L in the chat if you're watching live. Put an R if you're watching the replay. Facebook, I see you showing up. Let's go. So again, welcome to BEICONIC Conversations. Put this in your calendar. Every single Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be having some fun with this. Tonight's special guest, we're going to have Sonya Dungee, a super iconic mom that we'll bring on here in a little bit. Mom, grandma, entrepreneur, hard worker. She's got a podcast, got a lot of great things going on. We'll bring in on Tenille here in a little bit. Also, just amazing story. Hers is a little bit more health-driven, but just so passionate and just doing different things. Then we're going to be ending the night with Idylli Santiago, entrepreneur mom, just powerhouse women, phenomenal story, family-driven, family-oriented. And the reason why I want to bring these women up here in a little bit, and we'll be bringing on guests every single week, maybe you'll be on sometime too if that's something you're interested in, is the reason why we're bringing these ladies up here, because we want you to see people that have started their businesses, started doing things from where they started to where they are now and how their life has changed because they made a decision 6 months ago, a year ago, a little bit more. And you can too. If you've got a story, if you've got value, if you've got drive, we want to help you reach your goals and dreams for real, okay? And so we're going to get started here right now. We're going to get started. We're going to let this thing pop off right now. Do me a favor. If you're getting value, love seeing family and friends from old and new, and if you're getting value at all from what you're hearing tonight, do us a favor, save it, share it, put in the chats value, or put in the chat relate. When these young icons come on for this episode, it takes a lot to come share their testimonies and share their stories. So I see some of you live on here, and if you're watching, listening to the podcast later, thank you so much for being on as well. We appreciate you. Matter of fact, let's have some fun. Put in the chat where you're tuning in from and what it is that you do for a living and work. Are you an entrepreneur? Are you in real estate? You're a stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home dad. What are you? So where are you tuning in from and what it is that you do for work? All right, so let's have some fun tonight. And I'm telling you, ending this year with the next 24 days into the new year, this is the place to be. Make sure you stay on to the end because that is when I'm going to be sharing the link, exclusive link. It's almost actually half full already because I've shared it to my community. I see people in Arizona. Let's get it. Value already. Greg, I see you and I really, really appreciate you. Let's have some fun. We see you, okay? This event that we're doing, put in your calendar, January 15th and 16th, we're teaching people how to turn their iconic, unique story into a 6- and 7-figure business. So I will put the link in the chat here later, okay? And I see that Seattle's in the building. And Gregor says, I help people make the biggest financial decisions. I love it, bro. Love it, love it, love it. Let's have some people winning. This is an abundance mindset type of deal, okay? So, super excited to be on BEICONIC Conversations with you here. And I'm going to go ahead and bring up our first guest. And I'm going to ask her some questions. And we're really going to talk about the decisions that she's made in her personal life before and what life looks like now when we bring her on, and what it looks like now that she's starting to strive and help other people, how she's grown, how she's impacted people. So encourage these ladies when they come on, and hopefully you get some value from what it is that we're getting ready to do tonight. So the first person that I'm getting ready to bring on tonight, I'm so excited about it. This young woman right here has been a great friend of mine. We used to be in a partnered in a business in the past, and then the Lord kind of brought us back together. She is a mom, an entrepreneur, a world traveler, and just an absolute icon. So everybody, I want to see hearts, likes, shares. Help me bring on our first guest, Sonya Dungee. Can you see us? Can you hear us?
I hear you. Hello, Darren.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. I see you got Sonya at Always Destined for Greatness. I know that's your Instagram, so people can check you out. Love it, love it, love it. Sonya, welcome for the first time ever. Looking good. Got the hair, got the red on. BEICONIC Conversations. All right. So here on BEICONIC Conversations, we help people make income being themselves for a living while impacting the people they're called to impact. We're so grateful that you're here. We're so grateful that you're spending some time. Let's get right into this. This is going to be real, open, and helping people win. So Sonya, just do us a favor. We want to hear your transformation statement. Can you share that with us? What is your transformation statement?
Okay, I can. I help young adult women. Well, actually, it's. I'm sorry, that's going to change. So it's I help middle-aged women.
Got you.
Who are victims of physical or verbal abuse, feeling rejected, unloved, unworthy, and lacking confidence, uh, educated with gaining self-esteem, self-love, and self-care so that they can break generational change of trauma to be successful and financial free.
Let's get it. I love it. Those people are blessed that you are in that zone and helping people. So we want to get on here. If there are people tuning in live, two people watching the replay, we're so grateful for you. I've been working with you now personally within our community, our BEICONIC world, and the mastermind that we have for over a year now, Sonya, and it's been a blessing. But before we jump into that, can you go ahead and tell us a little bit about you, who you are, what you do, just a short little clip of your story so people can know who they're listening to?
Okay. So I am a mother of 3. I am a GMA of 4. And I didn't start out this way. As far as my story goes, very briefly, my story has a lot of curves, but as it pertains to the specific one in mind is I was in a really dark place. My dad had passed on, and he was my world, my everything, my road dog, confidant, And so when he passed, I, I was stunned. I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. I found myself in a dark place. I had a smile on my face all the time, but deep down inside, I didn't feel that way. I thought I was hiding. Apparently, I wasn't. Everybody knew except me. I was only fooling myself. I lost a lot of weight. Didn't feel good about myself at all. And but I knew that I needed to get out of this. I knew that's not what my dad would have expected of me for sure. He didn't raise me that way. So thanks to you, Darren. I read an email and I responded, and I said, you know what? I am going to make changes by the end of this year, December 31st. I made an appointment with you, a one-on-one for December 31st. And after that, I can tell you that my life just turned around. You promised if I listened to you, if I followed, your instructions, I did the work, that you would help me, because I knew I had a purpose and I wanted to be able to find that and be able to fully walk in it. And since then, I did like a complete 180. Even though I was that poster crybaby, previous uh, in the beginning of your, I guess like sometimes when you videotape, that was me. I was crying, but that was more tears of joy, because I could never put it into words exactly what you did for me by just having me do the work. And I make sure that I attend every single class, whether it's my class, a new class, all the classes, I'm in it, no matter what. And it's been some crazy situations. My mom passed in June, and I kind of made the arrangements and everything so that I knew that I would be able to go to class after, because I knew that's what she would have wanted for me. And since then, I look at that icon in the mirror every morning, and I'm smiling and I'm happy, and I go on and on. So I mean, stop me whenever you want me to stop,
Yeah,
because
no. Well, first of all, obviously, we want to first of all say your strength is very, very powerful. I mean, my father went to be with the Lord last September 5th, and it's not an easy thing, but we know what it is. And for the people that are tuning in here, BEICONIC Conversations, we have Sonya on, one of the people that's a part of our community, but also, she's a mom, she's an entrepreneur. I'm going to talk here in a moment about You're Always Destined for Greatness, your podcast, what you're doing, and how that's been helping, how you and your sister Dawn will have her on once. Another time. Dawn, we see you, icon. Let's get it. Have partnered together and doing some great things. But just so people can get some context, one of the reasons why we're talking about this, especially at the end of the year, y'all, with 24 days left, if you're the type of person out there right now that has had hardships, whether it's family, financial, whatever's going on, maybe it's a physical thing, maybe it's a weight thing, maybe it's a confidence thing, whatever it is, we still believe that people have a story, and not only there's a way to get out of it. This is not just motivational and mindset, but also to persevere, understand your value, create, connect, and contribute to move forward. And this young icon right here, Sonya Dungee, has done that. So, Sonya, just talk to us really quickly. Well, I appreciate the kind words, but it's you that's doing the work. And so, again, want to just say love you and God bless you about your dad and your mom passing, and to your family. But talk to us about where you work, because you work, and you were working in Verizon, right? Tell me what you do as a background really quickly.
yes, I call it, that's my jobbing. Working is when I walk in my purpose and I'm working. So I've been calling that my jobbing ever since I heard that in one of the classes. So I job. So yes, I work for Verizon. I'm a service assistant and have been for the past 27 years, this October that just passed. And I work in the live source division, where you call 411, and customers that need additional assistance is passed to me or another service assistant, which is a supervisor anywhere in the United States. And so basically that's what I've been doing. I started out as an operator, and then I upgraded to service assistant.
Yeah.
And
how long have you been doing that?
I've been doing that for 27 years.
Yeah. So listen, hey, for the person out here that has a job, you've been working a job, you're doing, even if you don't have a job, maybe you're in the fitness world, maybe you're an entrepreneur, whatever it is. We're not here to knock jobs the way you make income. I'm all for that. I'm all for people bringing in income the way they do. But we believe that your job is what you do. Your passion is your calling. Okay. And so like, what's your calling, Sonya? So now, since you've been a part of the masterclass, so I kind of want to ask you this question. I actually wrote it down, sent it to you, but I want to make sure we got it nice and clear for you. And so the question here is, tell us what life was like before applying some of the processes you've learned in our masterclass. What was life like before for you? Like before you started to understand your value, start to work on what the goals and dreams you had, and learn how to formulate them to put them in a way that you can grow. What was life like for you?
Uh, it was routine. Again, I'm a doer and a volunteer, and I'll do all those things. But when it came to my own person, I felt like I was lost. So in applying the things that I've learned in classes, that I've learned in the masterminds, that I've learned even in For His Kingdom, which has helped me greatly in my faith as well. When I bring that up, there was turmoil, there was despair, there was darkness, there was grief. But since then, I look at that icon in the mirror in the mornings and I smile or I talk to it. And I even have my grandson, we talk together. He's 11 months old. Um, I get up in the morning first thing and I'm so excited to do my 3-in-1 starting 6 o'clock in the morning. I get 3 days in my one day. Most people get one day, but I get 3 days in my one days. So that's
Absolutely.
exciting.
Yeah.
I'm goal oriented. I make sure I do my 6 pillars. I just stay motivated. I mean,
Yeah, no, you're
I think,
crushing. So talk to me about your podcast that you launched on Instagram. What's it called?
well, on my Instagram, it's always destined for greatness, but the name of my podcast is Essence of the Soul.
Got you.
Um, and it's a platform for everyone. There's a lot of subject matter that's not discussed or nearly discussed as much as it needs to, as far as diseases like lupus. Another guest, I'm sure she'll come in, she'll talk about that. She was one of my guests. It's an educational thing. It's a motivational type of platform. I had 2 gentlemen and we were talking about the male perspective, because that seems to get lost. How men think about certain things, or what they've been taught through the generations, that necessarily doesn't have to be anymore. But I understand, and I valued what their opinions was. So that's what I really love to do. It's educational. Sometimes it's fun. We talk about being grateful. I had my sister on. We did 2 episodes last week. One was just about my interpretation of Thanksgiving is a little bit different based on, I'm also Indigenous, Native American, Indian, but because I have a variation of mixtures, for me, Thanksgiving is being grateful and thankful for what it is that I do have, and I don't dwell on what it is that I don't have. And
Yep.
that being with the family is just the icing on the cake. So that's what my platform is basically about. And I invite people to DM me or whatnot if there's any specific subject matters that they would like to discuss. But the most important part of it to me is there's people that suffer in silence and they don't have an outlet or someone to talk to or don't feel comfortable. So if I can just reach out to one person, I feel like I've made a difference, and that I'm fulfilled in my purpose. So that's basically what my platform is about.
Tell us where we can find you on Instagram. When is your podcast? That's awesome, Sonia.
Um,
Super proud of you that you've launched that and that you've gained the clarity to get to where you are right now. The people that you're helping, you're super encouraging within the community and out. I know you're launching a masterclass here coming up soon
yes.
in the very, very near future. Where can we find you if somebody on here wanted to learn from what you're doing with your podcast? Where could we find you?
You can find me on Instagram on Always Destined for Greatness. I will be moving over to Facebook as well, but in the interim to that, sorry about that. The interim to that is I will take the replays and forward them to Facebook for now until I get a little bit more techie. But please come and find me. It's Norm. The norm is 8 p.m. on Wednesdays. based on my job hours. Like tomorrow, it will be at 6 p.m. It'll either be at 6 or 8, but I'll always put notification out there.
Love it. Always destined for greatness. Sonya, we're going to have you wrap up here. Thank you so much for being a guest on. We'll get you back on in the future. It's been an honor to watch you grow in the way you are. And one of the things I feel like we took from what you're saying right now is you're a mom, you work a job, you're not the most techie person, but you've got a passion, you have a desire, you have a story, and now you've created. Just really quickly, if you could tell us really quickly before you hop off here, how your life has changed now that you've been moving in this direction and the things you've been doing.
It's opened up so many doors. It just gives me a greater appreciation. I don't sweat about the things that I don't have. I'm looking forward. I get up excited in the morning to begin my day. I'm texting and reaching out to people on a daily basis. And there's always somebody that needed that, because there's always somebody that's looking for that. So it just fills my heart with joy. And like I said, it's my whole life is different. Not just that, my entire life is different. I feel like I'm so walking in purpose that 499 billion sperm that you talk about there and you taught us,
Yep.
that I beat out that sperm for a purpose. Technically, I should have been dead 3 times over. That's a whole nother story. But I didn't. So God has me here, and I'm walking in my purpose, and I'm fulfilling my goals and my dreams. And I'll be retiring really soon.
Yeah.
And that way I could.
You're breaking up a little bit there at the end. I heard you say you're retiring really soon, and that way you can do the goals and dreams that you have. But Sonya, we appreciate you so much. Thank you for being on. We'll have you on another time, and we're going to continue to move on. So Way to Lead Icon. Hey, y'all, go check out Sonya at Always Destined for Greatness on her Instagram. Check out her podcast and what she's doing. DM her and let her know that we sent you over there. All right. And so, all right. So now we're moving over to a different area here. I see her. I call her Smiles, this young woman right here. Her name is Tenille. You can see the Instagram tag in there. Tenille, welcome. Thank you. God bless you. And again, welcome to BEICONIC Conversations. How you doing, Icon?
Hi, I'm awesome. How are you?
I'm iconic getting better by the millisecond. To God be the glory. If I was better, I'd be in heaven. We talked about that, right? It's an opportunity. But hey, Tenille, thanks so much. We just got to hear from Sonya Dungee, and she's just an absolute beast in what she's doing. But yeah, we're here on BEICONIC Conversations. We're helping people understand how they can earn income being themselves for a living while impacting the people they were called. And so you've been now a part of our community, our mastermind for a little while. And I just kind of want you to kind of share your story a little bit. Then we'll go into some questions with you, and then just kind of see how your life has been impacted and how you're impacting people. And we'll take it from there. Icon, go for it.
Well, first of all, my name is Tenille Stewart. I help young women who have been diagnosed with lupus go from confused and discouraged to healed, hopeful, and in control of the medical narrative.
Let's go.
I am many things, right? I am a believer. I am a warrior. I am a beast. I am a survivor and a thriver. I was diagnosed with lupus 19 years ago.
So real quick, because I didn't know what lupus was till I met you, I'm gonna be honest. Mm-hmm. What is that? Can you just really quickly explain what is that? And then we'll dive into what you actually went through, came through, what changed your life about it, and then how you're here now.
Yeah, lupus. I didn't know what it was when I got diagnosed either. I was like, who? What? It is an autoimmune disease. So it's your immune system basically attacking healthy cells in your body. So it'll misidentify a bug bite or your heart or your eyeball and think it's an intruder and attack it as if it needs to get rid of it. So It will bring all kinds of inflammation throughout your whole body, trying to save your life when it's really killing you.
Wow. So how old were you when you found out that you had lupus?
19.
And how old are you now?
38, feeling great, looking fly.
Woo! I ain't even mad at you. I know that's like that sentence to ask a woman, but not the confident ones, right? So let me ask you this. So when that happened, you know, lupus entered your life, and I know getting to know you now, it was a super struggle and journey. And one specific area you told me where you kind of felt like you were almost on your deathbed. Like, can you kind of explain to us how bad it got before we talk about what you did next?
Yeah, so lupus varies from person to person, the severity of it. And I was one of the lucky ones to be in medical journals for a flare-up that I've had. I was in the hospital 3 months. I have had to learn to walk again multiple times. I've lost all my hair multiple times. I've had strokes. I've had blood clots. I have, my parents have had to, write up wills for me multiple times. So, I've been there. I've been to the edge. I have seen it all. There've been doctors that have told me when I was 19, they told me I would not live to see 30. So right. I'm 8 years past when they told me I would be gone.
Yeah, well, it's not their job; it's God's job. So can you talk to us really quickly, about having something like that? Because here on BEICONIC Conversations, here's what I know: it's the holiday season. People are blessed, I'm sure, but the truality, I like to say, is someone out there right now, whether they're going through lupus or have had whatever hardship, doesn't need to be that specifically. But I had a meeting today with somebody today, and he literally came on. He's like, listen, here, I work at this job. I got a wife, 2 beautiful children. They're young. And he's like, but I know there's more. I'm kind of not sure what to do, how to put it together. A lot of people are fearful, and some people have more serious things going on, like health issues. And I can't wait. Here in a moment, we're going to talk about the success that you now have had and the direction that you're going, the confidence, and I mean, just completely transformation in the last few months. We've been working together personally. But I remember in one of your stories through our mastermind, we have this part where we talk about you and how to turn your story into a 6- and 7-figure business. And you told this one story where you were in the hospital. Can you share that?
Sure. Yeah, I was in the ICU. This was the medical journal flare-up that I had. And I was in the ICU, and I'm an only child. There's no more. They have no backup children. So I could not speak. I could not lift my head. I couldn't really move at all.
You're 6. This is like,
yeah, I was attached to a bunch of things.
This is one of those
quiet hospital room, and you hear the beeps of them keeping my pulse and everything. And my mother, I could hear her, and their old neighbor from Jamaica, my auntie, in the background pacing the floors, and they were just praying. And this lady, she was crying out, just praying. So everyone in that whole building felt it, like, this is her one and only child. Lord, don't do this to her. Like, really just begging, pleading. And my mother is sobbing, and I am laying there, and I realize I can't move. I can't console my mother. I can't tell her I'm going to fight. I'm going to be okay. Like, I'm not leaving you here. And I decided then, I was like, all right, I have to fight. I'm not going to let them cry like this over me. Like, it's not going to, if I have anything to do with it, I'm going to fight. So I started praying from that moment. I was done with letting it take me. And the thing is that once you're down that bad, like everything hurt, everything from my head to my toe, just everything hurt. And it wasn't necessarily that I wanted to die. I just wanted the pain to stop. I just was like, whatever it is, just make this stop. I wasn't praying to die. I was praying like, God, just make this stop. And when I heard that, I heard them screaming in the hallway the way that it was, and I couldn't help them to feel better. I knew I had to fight. I was praying, promising God, like, I will fight. I will do whatever. Let me survive. Let me get through this. I will do whatever I need to do. And I prayed as that whole night that I can remember, just, please, Lord, let me get through this. And the next morning, all my vitals were changing. Everything was different, and they had no explanation. They were just like, oh, things are different. And from there, I got out of the ICU.
Hold on, hold on. Before we go to the change, there's one thing I want to ask you about, because a lot of people might miss this. Y'all, if you're getting value from this story, put value in the chat, whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You heard the praying, you heard the crying out, but you made a decision in your mind. And I want people to hear this, because whether it's someone sick in bed, or it's someone at the office sitting at a desk, or just lying in their bed at home, or just staying stuck in this area and the situation that they've been stuck in, really not getting to the next level. What made you change your mind? Because I want a person on here tonight to know, the person that's scared to invest, the person that's scared to take that step, the person that's scared to make a decision, the person that's scared to not give up in this world that wants to rob us of our inheritance, of our destiny, of our impact, of our value. What made you make that decision to not quit?
Just like I was thinking, I'm my mother's only child. Everyone who is listening to this, if you can hear my voice, you are the only you that exists. Someone needs you to do what you do. You are here for a reason. There's no one's here breathing, walking, talking, doing things for no reason. You impact people that you don't even realize you're impacting. And if you give up, you don't know who you are impacting. Just because you don't hear somebody praying, crying, they could be praying, crying right now out of your earshot, and they need you. They need you. Do not give up. You're not just giving up on yourself. You're giving up on everyone else in this world that needs you.
All right, well, I didn't do it, Tenille. You yelling at me for? Y'all go blow it up. So hold on a second. Hold on though. Put a pause on it, Miss. Drop the microphone right now, Tenille. Because when I met you, and we started working together in our mastermind, you weren't speaking like that. So I want to ask you, what's the difference? And I'm not here to brag on our masterminds, because you do the work, but seriously, what was life like before you were able to put this together? Decide to invest in yourself, decide to launch your podcast, which we'll talk about here in a second. Decide to allow the Lord to use you. What was it like before you got so now you've come past, now you're a lupus survivor and thriver, and now you're advocating for other sick people in general, or that mindset. But now I want to know, what was like before you made a decision to take that, okay, you survived, but now it's more than survive. Let's impact. What was life like before that?
So what it was is that I had survived, and it's scary. It is scary to, after you've been in a hospital, when I first met you again and saw this opportunity to, do anything, I had a stroke that recently. I had been in the hospital again for a few months, and it was just like, I was sad that I had to start over again. And there is a fear of, once I've climbed to a certain top of wherever, whatever my goals were, the fall is more drastic every time you get higher. So maybe you think to yourself, maybe I'll just chill here. I'm not great. I'm not really comfortable. I don't really like it here, but it's better than, if I really try and then I get somewhere and then it all happens again. So you're living in the fear of another flare up. So for a lupus patient, it's, a flare up is being actually sick or whatever it is. But a flare up in your life could be anything: a death, a loss of a job, a breakup, anything like that, right? Getting too high, there's a fear of the fall.
Yeah. So fear of success. That's where you were.
Success, yeah. So
and you didn't value yourself at the same level that you do right now.
Right. Correct. I want to say, I'm not, I'm out here. I'm not trying to brag on this man, but I'm going to brag on this man, okay? I really feel as though you've been gifted this gift to see people in the way that they should be seeing themselves. Even if, I've heard you talk to people that you can just tell that they don't feel any kind of good about themselves. And the way you light them up is unmatched. It's unmatched. So that part, that I got tangled up in that part, and learned all the lessons that he uses himself to do this for himself. and he just shares them with us, and it works out. Like, here I am. You see all this? That's how I do it.
Well, I want to talk about your podcast here. What's it called?
It's Happily Healed with Tenille.
Wow, Happily Healed with Tenille. And first of all, I appreciate everything you just said. I'm not trying to downplay that, but again, I'm not the one doing the work. Here's the thing. I'm just letting people know right now. Again, this is not a plug. You're a part of our mastermind. How long have you been part of our mastermind now?
Less than a year.
Yeah, about maybe 6, 7, 8 months.
Yeah.
We do some internal work to help a person get to where they need to before they can give value to somebody else. Let's talk about, we don't have to talk about price or anything like that, but like, I know one area you struggled with was investing, not because you didn't want to invest, but you were in a situation to figure out how to invest. And it's not just money, it's investing time, it's investing faith. What made you want to decide to invest? Because it wasn't just like, oh, I want to do better and you followed my system. Like, you invested in yourself. You're investing in yourself. And if anybody's out there right now and they're struggling, I get it. But let me just tell you right now, if you don't invest in yourself in these last 24 days of the new year, and you just do what the rest of the world is doing, which what they're going to do in these last 24 days is they're going to turn 24 days into 2 days. They're going to take Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and those 2 days, and someone might jump off this right now because we're going to have this conversation, but they're going to waste 24 days just to celebrate 2 days instead of investing in themselves for 22 days and celebrating for 2 days. So how or why did you invest in yourself?
I stopped being crazy. Like, if you are doing the same thing over and over, like, I was not happy. I was not happy. Like, if you are not happy, but you are also working on getting to where you want to go, it feels so much better. It feels so much better. If you have just decided, like, I've decided to live in the suck, like, this is gonna continue to suck, like, that is so heartbreaking. And it's funny that you could be walking around almost in tears and not even realize it because you have given up. It's just like, surviving is not the plan. It's not the hope. It's not the prayer. That is not where you were meant to be. Nobody came here to just be here. Like, you're here to do something. So find out what it is that you're supposed to do, share it with the world so that other people can figure out what they're supposed to do. And the cycle goes on. Like, you are a gift to the world. Be the gift. I couldn't be crazy.
I hear that, and I love it. But I want to talk because I got to see you when you didn't believe that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What changed?
Well, when I first signed up, I was still terrified. I was still like, this money and stuff. Like, I don't know.
I know, because you called me and quit.
Yeah. Because, like, it's time, it's money. The money part you don't think about as much, except for if you don't work as hard as you know you could work, and then the money comes out of your account. You're like, oh, no.
Like, wait now.
Wow.
Yeah. Hey, somebody needs to hear that, because someone's like, oh, what is it? Like, listen, you got to invest in yourself. Like,
yeah, the hard work is so worth it too, and it's interesting because if you're prompted to think outside of the box that you're used to thinking in, it gives you so much hope. It's like, these things have always existed. This way has always existed for me to think. I just haven't pinpointed it. And, like, you have to be around the thinking that outthinks you in order to get there. You know, like, there's so many times, like, when it gets hard, there's so many times that it crosses my mind, like, oof, like, do I need to do this? And then I'm around all of these beautiful souls that are on me, ready to be like, no, you're doing this. It's happening. And I'm like, you're right.
Community is so big. One of the mentors that I have, he said that motivation and inspiration, you cannot motivate yourself out of hard times. It's about your community. If you're not around the right community, you'll get stuck in that. So Tenille, hey, iconic session. Thank you so much. Before you go, again, tell us the name of your podcast, where it is and when it is, so people can go check you out, Icon.
So come have lunch with me on Mondays at noon. On my Instagram is Tenille_the Captain, and it's called Happily Healed with Tenille. Come on out. Come show out for me.
And it's not just for people with lupus or anything like that. Like you're talking about overcoming, gaining inspiration and all these different things to help a person win.
Yeah, for sure. Lupus is something that I have, but I am not, I was diagnosed with lupus. It's not part of me. It's something that I deal with and I fight with. And everybody has something that is their lupus, that's not, it's just something else that I struggle with, that everyone has their struggle. I do the health thing and I talk about health somewhat, but there's so much more. Like health is a mental thing. Health is something that it's a full body, mind, spirit thing. So come out and we'll talk about it.
Come have lunch Mondays at noon. You're going to have a masterclass coming up here soon to help people.
Beginning of next year, like mid to beginning of next year, we're going to have a masterclass.
We'll get that information out. Let's go. All right, y'all, blow it up in the chat for Tenille, the captain. Tenille, thank you so much. So powerful. And, as we get ready to come in and talk to our final guest, I just want to really quickly let y'all know that what some of these young icons are talking about. I see there's comments over here. People are commenting over. We see you. Appreciate you. So some of these icons, what they're talking about is we have an event coming up January 15th and 16th. And again, that event, actually, let me show you real quick. It's called Turn Your Story into a 6- and 7-Figure Business. I'm just going to share with that real quick. I've got my iconic personal assistant, Davia. She's in the chat in Instagram as well as she's in the chat in Facebook, and she is going to share this slide with y'all. If you want to register for this event, it's filling up. Again, it's January 15th and 16th. The link will be also after this in my stories on Instagram. Anyone that registers tonight for this event, we're going to give them a special prize as well. So just want to let y'all know, with the last 24 days, I know it's in January, but the reason why it's January 15th and 16th, because we wanted to wait till right around a lot of people say they're going to do this. And then all of a sudden the gyms are empty and all this stuff because they really weren't able to focus on their goals. We give people strategic game plans on how to win. And again, you just heard from Sonya Dungee, a part of our community, as well as Tenille. And again, I'm bragging on the community more than my skill set, but I'm just telling you, some of these people, because of the game plan, because of the strategies that we've given them, are able to now really, really gain that value and that creation and that contribution in their goals, earning income, building businesses, launching podcasts, and doing the things to get their story and their value out there. So I know Davia is going to drop the link here in the chat for Instagram, and she'll do it on Facebook. But if you stay on long enough at the end, I'll also have a special prize for you. So just wanted to share that with you before we bring up, it's last, but it's definitely not least. Make sure you unmute yourself, mi gente. We have this young icon. Listen, y'all, make sure, there it is in the Instagram chat, and it'll be on Facebook as well. Make sure you stay on for every second for this last young icon. Now, it's again not last but not least. Sonya's an absolute beast. Tenille, and I just want to kind of introduce y'all to some of the Be Iconic World and Iconic Attraction Mastermind community. So over the next few weeks and the end of the year, each week, at least one or a few people from our specific community that are winning, thriving, and doing what they need to do. This one, her name is Idylli Santiago. She's a mom, wife, entrepreneur, podcaster, masterclasser, soon to be online coach, doing some big things. I don't want to take too much of her story. Mi gente.
Hello. What is going on, mi gente?
I didn't know that. I'd never said mi gente until I met you, right? And then he said, give his life to Christ, and he was like, mi gente. And I was like, well, a good thing you say mi gente on your podcast.
That's right. Listen, for all my non-Spanish speakers, it's my people. And so when we say mi gente, we talking to our people.
Okay, well, I'm grateful that I made the team, right? And I hope you are. So, hey, listen, everybody, this is Idylli Santiago. Idylli, not a Y. Okay. Ideally, go ahead and share a little bit of your story. Allow the family to get used to you and get to know you before we hear a little bit more about what you're doing and how you've been winning here this last year.
I will. Thank you so much, first of all, Darren, for having me on. I will definitely go a little bit later on how much you and your family have impacted my life. And I would not be sitting here where I am today. That's just, I'm not a paid actor. I promise. You can go check my IG. I'm a real person, but it is completely just the truth. So thank you so much for having me on here. I really appreciate it. As he said, my name is Idylli Santiago, and I live in Tampa, Florida. I am a wife. I have 3 amazing children. One is 19, 17, and 8. So the 8-year-old still keeps us on our toes and keeps me young. Sometimes I'm ironing uniforms and I think, are we really ironing uniforms still? Like, we could have been done. The other 2 are like almost out the house. But he definitely completed our family and we love him so much. We're so thankful. On top of just a plethora of things, I'm a woman. I'm a woman who has been through a lot and has a story just like everybody else on here. But decided that I wasn't going to be a victor and that wasn't going to be a victim anymore, and just really wanted to be a victor.
Yeah, and you definitely are the type of person I feel like that went from victim to victor. Real quick, just share your transformation statement for us, real quick, if you could.
So, I help individuals who are uninspired and unmotivated be unapologetically themselves while they're gracefully growing into who they're meant to become.
Well, that sounds iconic. And for the person that's on here that wants to grow in their faith, wants to grow in their business, tell us a little bit about where you come from, though. I think that part of the story really blew my mind when I heard like where you actually came from.
Right. So many people don't know. Many people see who I am now. Even my kids, one time I was telling my testimony in church and they were like, right? Their mouths were like wide open, right? And that's not even the floor. But I grew up in very humble beginnings. I grew up in Chicago, Illinois, a very, very rough neighborhood called Cape Town. You guys, if you don't know and you look it up, you'll know what I'm talking about. And so I grew up in a gang life. My dad passed away when I was 8 years old. My mom was left young. She had me at 18. So you're going to just imagine, young, 4 kids, no education, no real life. And this is nothing on her. She was only dealt those cards and didn't, have nothing to play them with. And so I grew up in really bad neighborhood and I started really young. I mean, I literally seen things that a 10, 11, 12-year-old should never, ever even be exposed to, not even on television. I mean, I'm talking complete gang violence. I'm not exaggerating. Drive-bys, stealing cars, drugs, like just literally on the street corner with a gun in my pocket, yes, the whole 9 yards. I should be a statistic right now. And I'm not. And I'm so thankful for that because my mom, even though like she may have made many mistakes, she saved my life because she moved me out. She said, okay, no, I cannot stay here anymore. And she brought me here when I was a teenager. And most people think, well, you came when you was a teenager, but I had already had a lot of damage from everything that had already happened to me. And so it was definitely a healing process when I came here because I hated her for it. I was so mad. I'm like, if you take me to Florida, I'm going to make your, life a living, not so good. And, and I made good on that promise and I'm not proud of it, but it is a part of my story. I made good on that promise when I came here. I just totally rebelled, totally got into, it was a different thing here was more a party. It wasn't like a gang life. It was more partying and doing drugs and hanging out and doing all of these things until finally I became somewhat of an adult, and I had like almost like a guardian angel come into my life and kind of just took me out of life, got me my first job, car, and my life completely just changed from there, kept growing.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that first half of that story is so important because I don't know, maybe somebody on here right now came through something like that and doesn't believe that they can get to the next level in whatever the thing that they're doing in their life. And if you can relate, definitely put relate or value, put value in the chat. But okay, so moving forward past that and now becoming an adult, getting jobs, you're a mom, you're a wife. I know you love your family, but I feel like when I, kind of re-met you. We were part of a business together a while ago. Your value in yourself, wasn't there. I know like how you, pictured yourself, didn't see as much. I never like too down from far I can see, but I mean, I definitely believe I saw something in you. I did, like, and I don't say that about many people, but like how you presented yourself in presentations and stuff like that. But there was still something missing for you, to help you get to the next level. And I think where you are now and to where I see the Lord's blessing you to go. What was that? What was missing in your life to really have you step forward in your confidence and step forward and give yourself a chance in your growth?
Well, like you said, going into, family life and work life, that's all I really knew. I never knew entrepreneur. It was either the street or a job. So of course, after the street, what did I do? I went to get a job. And then a few years ago, I was introduced to, the endeavor that we were in before, and it completely changed my life and completely changed my mindset. The one thing that I didn't have was consistency. And so when that, company went down, a lot of people suffered from it from their reasons, but mine was I felt my dreams were crushed. And I felt like I never got to the top like I said I was going to get to. And I probably would never have the chance again, right? Because I didn't know any better. And so I just said, you know what? I still wasn't ready to go back to full-time work. And I was like, there's something out there for me. And one of the main things that I was missing was consistency. And I would say that had a lot to do, now knowing what I know now, that had a lot to do with my community and my environment. And so I started to just grow. And I said, you know what? There's got to be something out there for me. But then 2021, it was like right after COVID. You would think everybody's getting better after COVID. Like right after COVID, like things just went downhill. Like we got stuck in this small home that we were just renting for a small, short amount of time so that we can buy a house. That was the goal, right? To go buy a house. We're going to invest. I don't like to say sacrifice. We're going to invest our, time here and then we're going to go buy a house. And that didn't happen. We got stuck there for 3 years and we were blessed to have a roof over our head, but it was a 2-bedroom, 900 square feet with 5 people and a dog and 1 bathroom, right? It was hard times. My marriage was not doing well at all. Literally after 17 years, we said, we're separated. We're living in this house. We're living separated. Things were just downhill. My income, I was struggling with that. I just didn't know what my next step was going to be. And I know this is not everybody's story. Probably some people are doing well and they still want to grow. And, you still need the right environment and community, but that's just where I was. And, Darren, it's funny that you say that because I have never, ever been a depressed person, even through all I've been through, y'all. Like the list goes long.
Yeah, I noticed I didn't say depressed.
I'm saying that.
Yeah, no.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm saying that because I've never been like a down person. Like I'm annoyingly optimistic, right? And like my family sometimes is like, mija, ya, okay, enough is enough. Sometimes the cup falls and it's not half full, right? My husband sometimes is like, no, but and during that time frame, I got to a depressed state where I was literally like, I had to go see somebody. I had to go see a counselor. I was literally like, is this what depression really is? Like, this is how people feel when they're sad. Like, and then to top it all off, I broke my fibula. Never happened to me before. So I go from being able to do everything to doing nothing. I can't take myself a shower. I missed my kids' first day of school for the first time ever in their entire lives. Like I was just literally in a really, really, really rough place from like August, the whole 2021, 2022. And then from August 2022 to November of 2022, it was really, really bad.
And I remember my wife, I came home from somewhere. She was like, Idylli broke her leg. I'm like, nah. And I mean, we've had some conversations. I don't know if I told you this out loud, but when I was hearing some of the things you're going through, I just knew in my heart the only way was up. After that leg broke, I was like, Lord, I know something's got to change. So let's talk about that. You said up until November. What changed for you?
Well, one of the things that changed is I continued to journal, because I had already learned that from before. And I started to build my relationship again with God. I've always known him. I've always loved him, but I never really put him first. And that started to make a huge difference in my life. And then, of course, I like to call it a chance encounter, but it was his will that I happened to catch BEICONIC Conversations. It's so funny that a year later, literally, we're here. Because literally, I happened to catch it. It was Brian Brown. I still remember the guest. I still remember the guest. It was November. Brian Brown was on. You were talking and you were inviting to a virtual event. And at the time, I was not in a place to want to attend a virtual event. I had barely been posting. I was just coming off of, on my situation. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go. I talked to my cousin and she's like, you know what? Let's just do it. Let's just do it. And we did. And I mean, here I am a year later. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, so yeah, here you are a year later. Hey, people underestimate what can happen in a year. But let's talk about it. What was the process? What would you say in that year? What has changed now? Like that was the before. What's the after? Since you've been a part of the mastermind now for a year, how has your life changed?
I would say the number one thing that has changed for me is consistency. Before was my enemy, and now it's my best friend, right? And so staying on a consistent path to growth has been a game changer for me. And so starting from like, let's say everything, I was consistent. I was showing up. I was working, taking action every single day. Things started to get better. I started to feel better. I started making a plan. And this is not I by myself. This is with the community. This is in prayer. This is in faith. This was actionable steps that were given to me. I started to take them. Things started to change. We moved into a brand new home. The home that I literally prayed for. Listen, Dee, people think it's a lie. I have the prayer. I have it. Literally, I wrote it down consistently, exactly what I want. The Lord literally opened that door and gave me word for word exactly what I prayed for in this home that we live in now. Okay. I'm so grateful. Everybody has so much space that now we all want to be together. Like seriously. Before we all were on top of each other, we're like
on top of each other. That's
now we like literally stay in the family room, and my daughter would come out. You know how teenagers are all up in their room. Like she'll come out and literally kick it with us in the family room because we have so much more space that now we actually want to be together. And so that completely changed. And then of course I started a podcast, right? And it was more like, here, these are your gifts. This is what you've learned. This is what you've grown into. This is the action you need to take. And I'm like, Dee, I don't know if I'm ready. He's like, you were born ready. What you talking about, right? No. That's one of the things he always tells me, like, you were born ready for it. You were born ready for this. And so I, did the podcast. I launched it in April, and it's completely changed everything. A lot of people have really, been able to benefit from that and get value. They reached out to me in DMs. I've been able to come across people like here in Tampa, Florida that know me and they've seen me on the street and they're like, thank you so much. Or they ask me for advice or whatever the case may be. And it's just not my will. It's just my gift that I, was able to grow in this community.
So, it's so interesting to think about this now because since you joined the mastermind, we helped you launch your podcast and do a bunch of things with that podcast. Then you got interviewed in a magazine twice. Okay. Then you just got asked to do a physical masterclass, and you've got your first virtual masterclass actually coming up on December 12th. You have a CRM. For people that don't know what that is, that's a customer relationship marketing platform where you've created through our system and through helping you your own landing page, your own website. You're now sending emails. You understand the philosophy of social media. And it's amazing. I love teaching that kind of stuff because I realize I've learned that can help people. But what would you say before we're going to wrap up here, like your ability recently just to be super coachable and take what we're teaching you and implement it? Why? Like, how is that happening for you? For the person that maybe is struggling, maybe not there yet, you're about to have this masterclass. We want to ask you to drop the link in the Instagram and the Facebook so people can go if they'd like to. You're also doing your podcast, I think, on Tuesdays. You did at 8 p.m., right? Now you're kind of so like you have an online presence and you're just getting started. How were you able to be coachable in the mastermind? What specifically do you believe the mastermind has really done to help you have that clarity, that platform, and that strategy?
Well, I would say there's two things. Number one, it is the actionable plan, the steps that go with it, the psychology that comes along with it. It is the course. Like literally, it is meant to literally grow you if you stay consistent, if you literally apply it, if you show up for yourself, show up on time, get rid of distractions, right? That was the biggest thing for me. I had to literally get rid of distractions. I would say that has completely changed, but I would also say the community itself, the environment that has changed, because I do have those moments where I'm like, this is not, the belief starts going, or my life happens. Life happens to me. Listen, life's not perfect, mi gente. Life is not perfect,
You
right?
already know.
But at the end of the day, it's the community that helps you to continue to grow. When you hear stories like Tenille's, when you hear stories like Sonya, when you hear stories like Ernesto, when you hear stories like Anthony Smith and his age that does not allow him to hold himself back. When you hear things like that and you're involved in something like that, in a community like that, it just helps you grow to the next level and beyond, because it lets you know, one, you're in the right place, and two, there's a whole world out there waiting for you.
100%. I want to shout out the community. And, I haven't really posted the Iconic Attraction Mastermind. Some people are on here like, what is he even talking about? We have a mastermind. I have a mastermind and a community that I've been doing for about 2 years. But one, because of their privacy, but two, so many people online, I think, promote things, and I just don't think it's always tasteful. So I was like, I want to hear from y'all. You guys can share, and then people can go to your podcast. Matter of fact, what's the name of your podcast and when is it? Where can we find it?
It's Ideals with Idylli, and that's IDEALS with /IDYLLI, Idylli, and it comes on every Tuesday live at 8 p.m. on Instagram, and will soon be streaming on different podcast views and YouTube and Facebook.
Let's get it. And you got a masterclass coming up.
I do. I'm so excited. Listen, so I did the live event and it was incredible. A friend of mine got together and we were like, how can we give back to the community? We've been so blessed this year. How can we give back at the end of the year? And we were like, you know what, let's do a live event where people can come and just, gain some value from that. And it went really well. The feedback was great. Everything, technically everything just was great. And we're so grateful. And, I was like, okay, the next step in that is reaching those who, one, couldn't make it and or don't live in my city, right? And so are far away or out of the country even. And how do we do that? By doing a virtual masterclass. And so that's happening on December 12th at 7 p.m. I'm going to be dropping the link on here. Thank you, Darren. I am so excited for that, you guys. I'm going to be bringing everything. It's the end of the year.
Like topic you're teaching on that.
5 steps on how to reach 5 steps to create habits on how to reach any income goal that you set in 2024. Income goal that you set in 2024, or any changes that you want to make in 2024. I'm going to give you the 5 steps on how to do that.
Wow. All right. Well, listen, hey, y'all, we're going to wrap up here. BEICONIC Conversations. Dealey's going to put that link in my Instagram on the post as well in my Facebook. Go ahead.
Before we go, D, sorry. I just want to say again, I know I said that it's in the beginning, but I said I was going to emphasize on it, that I'm thankful for you and your family. I love you, Sarah, Kingston, Faith, Zeal, baby to come. Like, I'm so grateful and thankful that, God have always put me into your heart, and that you've continued to grow you so that you can grow us. You put your time in so that we can continue to show out. And it just doesn't go unnoticed. I promise you one thing. Coaches have coaches that have coaches that have coaches. At the end of the day, that's just what life is. And hiring this coach and getting into this class was the best decision that I've ever made in my life. And I never can say that.
Well, mi gente, to God be the glory. I really do thank you for that. Our family loves you. Every time Kingston and Faith hear your voice, they're like, Miss Idylli. Like, she's on the phone, she's on her Instagram, whatever. But we appreciate that, and we just want to help bless people in any way and every form and every way we can. So the mastermind is just one way. Matter of fact, if we really want to help you, for me, we want to lead you to Jesus. And so we're going to pray before we hop off here. But ideally, I want to say thank you, Sonya and Tenille. I know you're in the background. Matter of fact, you guys don't hop off. We'll do a quick little prayer at the end. Ideally, hop over to my Instagram and to my Facebook, y'all. If you want the link, go follow her as well. Go to Sonya's Instagram, Always Destined for Greatness, Tenille the Captain. Each week on Tuesday, I'm going to be bringing new people on, specifically for my mastermind for the rest of the month, so you can hear different testimonies, how people are turning their story into 6- and 7-figure businesses. So I want to thank you again, ideally, for that, and appreciate y'all. So listen, one more time. Ideally, I see your masterclass in there. She made that landing page, y'all. Really, really proud of her for that, and excited that she was able to do that. As we wrap up here, one more time, I want to let you guys know as well, in the new year, myself and our team are doing a how to turn your story into a 6- and 7-figure business masterclass. I'm really excited about this. This will be January 15th and 16th. And I'm so excited about this because we really are going to be going through the steps on how to help people have the most iconic first quarter of the year. Listen, did you know that less than 5% of people that start the year off with a New Year's resolution, less than 5% of people that start the year off with a New Year's resolution by the end of the year, by now, at the end of the year, actually hit that goal? Why? Because they don't have the right strategy. They don't have the right game plan. Especially if a person, maybe has, a little bit of background, maybe in network marketing or maybe in some kind of working or coaching, but they don't really have the strategy. I'm not here to sell you, convince you. Matter of fact, this event is a 2-day event that is for free. If you get registered tonight, I get text messages. I want to know when you're registered. Let us know. DM me if you have any questions. Davey, if you can go ahead in the Instagram and the Facebook, put the link again. Actually, I have the link for, I think, my one-on-one in my Instagram profile, but I'll go ahead and put the link for this masterclass as well in my Instagram bio, and it'll be on my stories tonight. Hey, as we wrap up for BEICONIC Conversations, we also just want to let you know, we do believe that you have enough value to make income sharing your testimony with people, to make income being a blessing for a living, but not just an income, to know your value, to create, to connect, to contribute, and to be a blessing on the highest level. Listen, enjoy the holidays. I matter of fact, I'm going to pray for you right now, all of you, that you do have a blessed holiday, that things come into your life, that you went on a higher level. But most importantly, man, no matter what's going on, man, the circumstances aren't where you want them to be, that there's peace, that there's fruit, that there's value, and there's faith and belief that you can go from where you were to where you're really called to be, just like these 3 ladies and the guests you're going to hear next week and the week after and the week after until the new year, all right? So let's pray out. Lord, thank you for this opportunity here on this BEICONIC Conversations podcast. On this platform, Lord, that we're grateful and blessed to be able to share our stories. Thankful for another day. And there's so many things out there, Lord, that want to incriminate on people's inheritance and incriminate on people's mindsets and their ability to grow. Whether someone's out there, they're a single mom, a single dad, struggling in their marriage, struggling in their faith, their confidence, and their direction, their peace, their forgiveness, just wanting to do well, just wanting to have that peace, and just wanting to find a way to break through, to travel more with their family, make some income, just sink their teeth into something that's theirs. Just asking for clarity, Lord. Most importantly, especially if someone's on here and they don't believe in the death, the burial, and the resurrection of Jesus Christ, Lord, that they soften their hearts and they turn towards you. There's so much more than the things of this world. And you've shown that to me in my life, Lord. I want to pray for the people out there. I want to pray for my beautiful wife who's pregnant with our 4th child, our babies that are sleeping right now, my life, my family, to be a blessing for you, my church that's changed my life. And as we wrap up tonight, Lord, we're going to continue to move forward, be our provision, be our leadership, be our faith, be our moving forward. And if somebody's listening right now, Lord, they're on their last breath, they're on their last feeling like they can make it to the next level, I pray, Lord, that you come alongside them, you go into their hearts, you lead them, you guide them, you lift them up, you bless them from head to toe, and you show them that they're not alone and that there's more, not just in finances and success, but just in life in general. Because if they're here, it's for a reason. In your name we pray. Amen. All right, y'all. God bless you. BEICONIC Conversations will be back. Don't miss it. Next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be here through the end of the year, into the new year. If you've registered for our event, turn your story into a 6 and 7 figure. Turn your iconic, unique story into a 6 and 7 figure business. We cannot wait to see you there, to show up, to turn your lives around for the new year and be a blessing in the end of the year. All right. So we're going to hop off here. Facebook Live, Instagram, YouTube. It's been a blessing. We love you. And this is BEICONIC Conversation. Hey, share this. Please comment, save it, and just continue to be a blessing in our lives. We love you. We appreciate you. God bless you. Let's get it.